is going on, party people? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the No Life Digital Podcast. Today, jam-packed show. Tons and tons of news. And just tons of news, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to get into. We got Doobie here with me right now, and then Jerry's going to pop in a little bit later. So we're going to begin with the gaming portion of the show. What's up, Doobie?
Yo, what up?
Have you heard the intro music to the show?
I have not.
Check it out. I think you'll dig it. It's very Persona 5-like.
Fantastic soundtrack, by the way.
It's like
And all
a
of the-
smooth jazz. I don't know what the genre specifically is.
I mean, I'm a big fan of chill hop, lo-fi hip hop, you know, the 24/7 music to study to.
It's kind of like that, but more jazzy and Persona 5-like.
Like, that music's perfect for just straight up background noise.
For menu music, it's the best.
Yeah, really anything that's just mundane.
Yeah.
Just throw on a nice, you know,
Some
chill
coffee.
hop, lo-fi hip hop in the background.
Have some coffee, a little nicotine, and just chill, man. It's good chill music. All right. Cool. What you been up to?
Not too much.
Same shit?
Pre-ordered a bunch of games from E3.
You did?
Of course I did.
You're wild, man.
I'm terrible.
You're
I argue
wild,
that no one should pre-order, and then I go do it.
You're the worst offender of it.
I only do it because, like, if I don't have the money, it's like something like Bloodstained came out today, and you're sitting here and you're gonna be like, "Hey, you should pay $40 for this game right now." I'm gonna be like, But if I, go and reserve that game and put $5 down, and the next time I come in to pick up the game, I'm putting like an extra $10 down. When the game comes out, I already paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just for me a financial thing.
Sure, whatever you tell yourself.
So, I mean, I also buy my shit physical.
Yeah.
So it's different when you go to a place specifically to buy something, because then I know I'm making the effort and I'm dedicating the money. But if I sit here and stare at my PC and it's like I could buy this game on Steam right now, I'll pull up my bank account and be like, yeah, no, I'm good. No, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll wait for it to be on sale on a Steam sale for like $10 in like 2 years.
You're sick in the head.
That's how I bought Witcher 3.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you're getting it on sale, you might as well, but just
there's
straight up
10%.
pre-orders are there. I do not recommend anyone do that except for you.
It is really a predatory thing, and then especially when they throw in pre-order bonuses, and it's just
Right.
feels kind of scummy.
I don't know why you just can't wait.
I mean, to be fair, most of the games I pre-order are like games like I know no matter what the review says, I want that game to begin with.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
It's not even just that because I pre-order too, but I pre-order the day, like the night before it'll release, just because I want to download it early, you know?
Plus, the embargoes are usually out before then.
Yeah. I barely really look at that stuff. Sometimes I do, but it doesn't really affect my purchasing.
It definitely saved me from buying No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that was one for sure. Because
I
we
was
were all
about
thinking
to
about
buy
buying it.
I was like excited. I'm like, this game looks dope. And then those reviews came out, and I was like, oh, this is not the game I thought it was.
Yeah.
This does not look like fun.
That's the reason why you don't pre-order. How many times have you been burned by pre-order? Honestly.
Arms.
Yeah.
That was a bad game.
Oh my God, I forgot to tell you. There was an amazing article written about ARMS.
Oh, I know. I saw it.
It was
The greatest game that nobody talks about.
yeah.
That author is smoking crack.
It was kind of a meme article, but it was hilarious.
I felt like that was an onion piece.
Yeah.
The game was so bad.
Where was that article?
Like, I could easily make that argument about Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2 is a fantastic game.
I could agree
More
with you.
people should play Splatoon. I know a lot of people. I don't know a lot of people that do play Splatoon. I know like the hardcore fans, but like
Yeah.
more people play Mario Kart, and I feel like Splatoon's a better game than Mario Kart.
Yeah, I would definitely.
Splatoon is a better game than Mario Tennis Aces.
Yeah.
Even I mean, online's bad too on both of them. Probably. I mean, online's really not that bad on Splatoon 2.
It's not. It's just the
It
way
really
they go
isn't.
about it is bad, but it's like the connection's
No, the
fine.
way they go about it's bad, yeah. But like the connections, like I'm then again I'm on Ethernet, so
Yeah,
I-
Mario's not that bad, but the way they go about it is bad on online. It's just Mario, no one's playing it. You can hop in Splatoon right now and people are playing it.
yeah, that was a game I kind of I wouldn't say I got burned on it,
Splatoon?
but I definitely no Mario Tennis Aces.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely was a game that I wound up not having as much fun as I thought I would.
It was fun when it first came out, and there was a thriving scene. It was fun, but then everyone was like, wait a second, there's nothing else to do except play one-on-ones. And,
Especially
a lot
after
of
you
people
finished the
left.
story mode, and that was kind of it. And then,
Yeah. It was only competitive after that, and then there was not many people playing it. I haven't hopped in a while. I've just been addicted to Smash, and I've been playing Zelda again.
and if you've got one friend that owns the copy of the game, that's all you really need if you're gonna play it as a party thing.
Yeah.
So there was really no reason for me to keep it.
And it's a party game where if you're not good at it and you play someone who's good at it, you're gonna lose every time. So like you kind of have to.
I'm also the best in my friend group at Smash Brothers, and I don't know if you saw. There was this tweet, and it was like, when a casual player meets a competitive player, and these two guys, like, it's the same guy, but like it's a skit where he like sits down, he's got his controller, he's like, "You ready to play?" "Yeah, I'm ready to play." They load it up. It's like a jank stage, items on, but like during the load up screen, he's just like drying his hands, got his controller. As soon as he sees the item, he quits, goes in, turns items off, changes the stage set, like changes the time and stocks from like stock battle. And as soon as he sets everything, he's like, "Ready to go? Yeah, good luck, have fun." Fist pet. I was like, that's me with my friends.
Yeah.
They want to play with items on, 4
Yeah.
players. And I'm like, nah. What is this adding a CPU in here for? Why is it not 1v1? Let's
know.
go. Why
And
are
you
these
can't do
items
that with
on?
your friends because you're just gonna whoop the shit out of them.
And that's what I do. And I feel terrible because I know they're just, I don't think they're having fun, and I am.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's how I have fun.
Mario
I'm
Tennis
lucky
is the
that I
same
have-
exact way.
I've got like 2 or 3 friends that are also that way. So like when we get together, we'll let them play for a while, and then we'll hop on.
Yeah.
We're like, "Oh, you can play with us. Don't be sad when you're dead in 2 seconds." Like, especially, man, we do that shit with Nintendo 64, with Smash 64.
Do you
We'll
still
play
play
both-
Smash Ultimate?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
I'm looking. Like, I don't think, and we talked about this with the new characters. And like, yo, I'm totally hyped for Donkey Kong. I'm sorry, Donkey Kong.
Banjo.
For Banjo Kazooie and the hero from Dragon Quest XI, which I was disappointed that a lot of people in the West apparently didn't receive that really well. Because in Japan, it's huge. Like, Dragon Quest is bigger than Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
That's their huge RPG series. Like, that, for us, when we got Cloud and Smash, like, that was them when they got the announcement of the hero. And I'm super happy. And I think that's why they did, like, a character that the West really likes in Banjo and a character that Japan really likes. That way, everyone was happy with the announcements.
Yeah.
Like, the people in the West who were like, "Oh, man, Luminary, Dragon Quest, I ain't never played this weeb shit." At the end, they were like, "Yo, let's go. We got Banjo."
Yeah, Banjo looks good too.
I still think I'm going to wind up maining Joker still. Neither of the two. I'm going to play them. I'll check them out. But nothing of their
Have they
movesets that
updated him? I feel like they've updated him in the last
They didn't
update.
touch him. They didn't touch him.
Oh, really?
Actually, they buffed him.
No, that's what I meant. It seems like they buffed him.
They somewhat buffed him. The only real change he had was it was a game-wide change where a lot of multi-hit moves were made so that they would actually hit like repeatedly. So his like the thing he does when he does that, the Aegon, and it's only Aegon. It's not the first one because it just hits you once. It's the Arsene version of it, which is Aegon, that when he does his snap, it'll hit you a bunch of times. A lot of the times before this patch, you would get like knocked out of it, so you wouldn't get hit all the times. They made it easier for that to multi-hit.
Yeah.
But that was like a game-wide change to a lot of moves.
I think
that he just
people-
saw a benefit from.
I think people are just getting better with him. I
was
mean, when
seeing
I
some
play
crazy
against him,
combos.
hit that fucking counter just eats me alive every time.
Tetrakarn. I mean, he's got things that he's weak against. He's a very light character. Well, he's not very light. He's about
He's pretty
medium,
light. You can knock him around
but
pretty
he's
easily.
pretty light. Like he doesn't trade. You cannot. If you're going to go into a match and you think you're going to trade blows with your opponent, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
He does not get the benefit from trades. That is where you. So it's you have to like I play Rushdown, but you have to know when to rush down. You
Yeah.
got to choose your battles with him.
Yeah, I've been playing
Tetrakarn-
against a lot of pretty good jokers, and they've been pretty good just because they just fucking throw their counter on every time.
I saw
And
a
it
video.
doesn't do nothing. He just stands there and just eats up all your power.
I saw a video on Twitter of the guy had just got Arsene. He got knocked off the stage by a Kirby. Goes for the up B, gets hit by Kirby's down air. Goes for the up B, gets hit by Kirby's down air. Goes for the up B, gets hit and killed. Because the startup of up B, his recovery when he has Arsene, has invincibility, but it's only for the startup. And I'm watching this, and the guy's like, if I can beat Joker with Kirby, anybody can beat Joker. And I was just like, watching that, I'm like, I don't know why that Joker player didn't use his counter on the second hit. Like,
Yeah.
so even if he didn't get like the bait out, he would at least have stalled, and you wouldn't have hit your move, and he could have then recovered.
Yeah. No, that's what you have to do with him. You just have to master that counter.
The
Because
counter's it's great for like
it just
and-
fucks your timing up. So then you can attack with a smash, and then that's how you get your kills. Because his kills are pretty weak. You have to smash, or you have to at least have Arsene on. So when
If you
you
have
throw the
Arsene-
counter and you're good with the counter, you fuck someone's timing up, and you just
and
you can
depending
smash.
on who you're playing against, you can kind of get some kind of like quick kills. I'm trying to, and this is just me talking, and I've seen it in the community. I'm trying to refrain from using the word gimp when I explain like easy kills because it's ableist.
Okay.
So I'm making that attempt. So when I go for like your good edge guards, you
Yeah.
get your cheeky edge guards. Gun is very useful. His down air where he does that like swipe, especially if you're playing against a character like who have like bad recoveries, a little Mac, things like them. You get them off stage and you can follow it up with a swipe. They're dead.
Mm-hmm.
You get that quick kill. But the gun is definitely one of the things I think as a player I need to get better at, and I want to see more people get better at it. I saw a combo earlier today where it was a miss tech followed by a short hop forward gun, down gun right into forward smash. Like it looked like it was true, like guaranteed. And I'm like, that's the kind of stuff I need to start seeing, like those crazy punishes.
Yeah, I love the gun too because it looks cool. Like it's like a flashy move. It is hard to pull off like any sort of combo out of gun, just because it's just so kind of technical with the
And
movement.
gun sliding is cool, like because you can use the dodge after gun if you're like holding it and then you hold the dodge.
Yeah.
You can actually, if you time it right, you can get like a large slide, almost like a wave dash in Melee. But it's the timing on it is just ridiculous to get it.
Yeah, I've been maining Pac-Man. I think Pac-Man's super fun. He's kind of weak, but his combos are so fun once you learn how to just fucking bash people with strawberries all day.
He's got a good recovery. Key is definitely a really good tool.
Yeah,
Hydrant-
I think all of his specials are good. I think they all have a purpose.
Hydrant can be good as long as you don't set it up in a way that your opponent knocks it right into you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, if you're playing against a Joker and they throw that Tetrakarn out and that goes right flying back to you.
Well, that's what I've been doing is playing everyone. I've been trying to main everyone, get to at least 4.5 million on the GP with everyone. So I'm pretty good with what's the chain guys? What are they? The Belmonts.
The Belmonts, I know.
They were my first
very
mains.
good Belmont. Yeah, they're spacing. Like, they are just.
Yeah.
They're spacing fiends.
I mean, it's so hard to get in on you when you know how to play them. And it was just getting boring because I was just eating people up. And then I moved to Inkling, back to Inkling, and then
Thing's really good.
yeah, he's probably my main. And then I started playing like Lucina in them just to learn them to learn how they move, and then I was like, let me check out Pac-Man, and I like
Lucina's
Pac-Man
definitely a lot better than Marth.
I think she's the best one.
She probably is the best Fire Emblem hero, like the Fire Emblem character in this game. Chrom is like Chrom can hit like a truck, but I would say that it's Lucina, Roy, then Chrom, then Marth.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm just putting Marth real low, and I feel bad for it. And actually,
I would put Roy maybe lower than Marth.
Ike. Ike would be above. Ike would be above Chrom, then Marth. Marth is super low for me. Like, if you're good with spacing and tippers, that's really good. Like, I'm not saying that it's a bad character. I'm just saying in terms of the Fire Emblem roster, I think that Lucina just has better. She's got these.
She's smoother.
She's not the tip. She doesn't need the tipper. Her whole sword is a tipper.
Yeah, and she's a lot smoother to play with. She's not
like Roy, who needs to be closer, which, I mean, of course, plays very well into the like a rushdown style. Yeah. But even then, like, you got to be throwing like forward airs.
I mean, they're all pretty good. I kind of don't like them just because they're so kind of easy to play. It's all just sticks.
I'm a sword guy, so
it's all just like stick flicks, really, with them.
Captain Falcon, I did enjoy his like latest patch where they increased his like hitbox for his knee.
Yeah, I've been playing him a lot, and I'm not good with him. I'm not that good with him yet, but he's been pretty fun because he can just do crazy combos, and it always feels nice to combo.
Here are the 4 things you need to be a Captain Falcon main: stomp, grab, elbows, and knees.
Yeah, no, it's honestly the grab. I just don't grab with him enough.
Yeah, he's the biggest character. Like as far as grabs go, he's definitely the like. If you're gonna open up anybody, you can kind of do. Like nair at a shield, like short hop nairs, like just to get the 2 kicks in. But if you really want to get your opponents down, you need to pressure their shield and then grab them when they're in shields. And then from there, get your down throws, get your tech chases, do your stomps, get your knees.
Yeah.
But his recovery is complete garbage.
Yeah, and it telegraphs his recovery so easily, so it's so easy. You
can recover. You can try to recover high. You can try to weave, but it's not like Melee where like you can actually weave and really grab that edge. Like you're gonna eat a back air, or you're gonna eat a forward air. You're gonna eat some kind of aerial. There's just nothing you can really do about it.
There's a lot of Marios playing online now.
I mean, Mario's always been like
Dr. Mario, Luigi, all of them.
Mario has always been like kind of a bread and butter, a tried and true character. You always get that low percent. Grab, down throw, up air. I'm sorry, up tilt, grab, down throw, up tilt, till 40-50%.
Yeah, you're around like 45 there.
If you're gonna play against a Mario player, you're at lower percents. Don't let him grab you, or you're gonna lose an easy 40-50%.
Yeah.
Throws you up air, up B. Yeah, very similar to Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon's up airs, like up air strings, very reminiscent of the 64 days, where his main shtick was he didn't have like, I mean, he had stomps, but like they weren't as good in like 64 as they are now. Even in Melee, his 64 kills were get you in a grab, get you in the air, up, then up air you until he could grab a hold of you and give you a big hug.
Mm-hmm.
Do that off stage and you're dead.
I still think I'm the best Plant.
Nobody plays Plant though.
I know. That's why I think I'm the best Plant.
I feel bad because Plant looked cool, but it turned out he wasn't.
I think he's pretty good. He's not the best. I mean, you play against like a good Lucina, it's hard to kind of get in on them.
He's like a Little Mac. He's got a good ground game.
He's like a Little Mac, but with an amazing recovery.
His aerials are garbage.
Yeah, he doesn't really have an aerial game.
No, and that's a problem. Sit on Smash Ultimate, your best characters in Smash Ultimate all have very good aerial games.
I've been also playing as Fox, and I don't really like Fox.
Fox, I feel like Wolf is probably the best.
Yeah, Wolf's a lot better to play with. I don't really like Fox. I feel like he's just too small. If he was a little bigger.
I'm not a big, like, I didn't, like, I have a friend that, like, was a huge Wolf main in Brawl, and when Wolf didn't get announced in Smash 4, he was heartbroken, really. And then as soon as they announced that Wolf was back, he was like, ultimate best game ever, let's go.
All right, we could talk Smash all day. Let's move into the news. Have you been playing anything new? I have. I'll tell you what it is.
I am picking up the PlayStation Plus free games this month. Include the Sonic Mania. So if you guys haven't played Sonic Mania, go pick that up for free if you have PS Plus. And the Handsome Jack collection for Borderlands. And I have never played the pre-sequel. And I got a buddy of mine that has it, so I think I'm gonna hook up with him this weekend and play some Borderlands. Especially since they have the new DLC coming out that bridges 2 and 3 together.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we're laggy or not, but it looks like my OBS is eating up a lot of bandwidth. I don't know. It doesn't look like we're lagging though. I've been playing Anthem.
That. I saw that and I was like, why is he playing Anthem?
And I'm not going to lie, I've been having some fun playing it. It hasn't been crashing, so it seems like they fixed that at least. And if you want, to me, because I had the Origin thing, the Origin Pass, you pretty much just get the game. So if you have that pass, download it if you like Warframe. If you like that Warframe style of game, Anthem's not bad. It's just like a different Warframe. And it is a gorgeous game. It is pretty fun. But just don't expect a lot of depth out of it. And I certainly wouldn't pay $60 for it. But yeah, I was playing Anthem for a little bit, man. And I've been thinking about seeing how far it can go before I kind of lose my mind in it. But yeah, Anthem. I don't really have much to say about it. You've seen the gameplay. That's all it is. You know, you run up to a space of monsters and you shoot them.
How much are they charging for that game right now?
I want to say $60.
They still charging a full 60? Because I'm like wondering.
I can't imagine it's anything else.
There's talk that Destiny 2 is going free to play.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Is Anthem on that same kind of track where it might have to wind up going free to play?
Well, I don't think they're ever going to do free to play because it's technically, if you have the Origin access, it's $15 a month or whatever the price is. Maybe it's a little cheaper. Which I don't think is bad because if you like EA games, then I think it's still worth it because you're gonna buy 1 or 2 EA games a year. You know, if you're someone like me who's gonna play some sort of sports game, or you're gonna play some sort of AAA EA game like a Battlefield.
My question with the Origin Pass, how many games on there are also on the Xbox Game Pass on PC?
I don't know.
Because if they are shared between the two, I would argue that Origin is not worth it. You go PC Game Pass for $15 because you also get Xbox Gold.
Right.
And you get Xbox Game Pass for Xbox.
That's actually a good idea. I actually don't know. I should check that out.
If I'm EA, I'm not offering any of my games for that. But at the same time, it depends on how the money goes.
Oh, no. So, okay, this is how they do it. Now I remember. There's EA Access. If you want the Origin Game Pass, if you want to play the Xbox Game Pass with EA games, you have to have both. So you have to have the Xbox Game Pass and then the EA Access. Or you could just get EA Access, but I wouldn't get that. I wouldn't get that just to play the Battlefield games. You might as well just go Xbox Game Pass and then maybe buy those 1 or 2 EA games. It's up to you if you want to go that route. But that's how they do it.
I mean, it's hard for me because I saw
there's 2 subscriptions essentially.
Yeah, because we saw we know about Origin Access, but then we also saw the whole Ubisoft one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you guys as individual developers are offering this for $15, but when I see what I'm getting for the same amount of money from Xbox, that $15 seems an awful steep price for those simple developers. If they made it $5, I could see that. But $15, I think, when you compare it to what Xbox is offering, what Microsoft has, I don't think they're equal at all.
It's not. I mean, essentially, how many games do you think you're gonna buy? Because then you can absolutely save money. You can absolutely save money if you think you're gonna buy more than 2 EA games or just 2 EA games. You're saving money. Then it's gonna be worth it in that realm because you're always gonna have those extra games attached to it. But if you're that type of if you don't want to play any EA games, then obviously it doesn't make sense.
I would argue that it's probably the best deal for those who play like sports games, especially now that they're all coming on PC. You've got Madden on PC these days,
or about any Battlefield game. Like the new Star Wars is going to be on it, and I know I'm going to get Star Wars. That's going to be a $60 game.
You drop $60 on Madden alone. By the time the season's halfway over, they're offering that game for $20. If you wanted to trade it in anywhere you go to, it's going to be like, oh, we'll give you $1 for it.
Yeah.
If any,
honestly, DB, I don't think anyone's trading in games anymore.
So not with the prices you get. I'll tell you that.
They can't do it. That's what they have to buy them for. No one's buying hardware.
There's a reason why in Smash Brothers, a trade that does not work out well for you is called the GameStop Classic.
Yeah.
You get ripped off, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's always been that way, though.
That's why you become a collector.
Yeah, but I think, like, all right, say you buy Madden or FIFA, whatever one, and then you want to buy a Battlefield. Well, then you're going to get Star Wars. You do get Anthem. It is a good deal if you plan on getting a couple EA games. For the Ubisoft one, I don't know. I don't have really that relationship with Ubisoft like I do with EA. Because I am an EA... I like EA games. I'm not an EA hater at all in any sense of the word. I don't like a lot of the stuff they do, and I disagree with a lot of stuff they do. But fuck, man, they can make a really good AAA blockbuster title. I'm so pumped for this new Star Wars. It looks so good. I was super pumped on Battlefront 2, Battlefield 5, super pumped on Anthem, even though that didn't turn out so well. But that's okay. $15 a month. I've saved money already, So in that sense, it's okay for me, but... the Origin or the Ubisoft one, I don't know if I'm going to get the Watch Dogs game. What else is there? Assassin's Creed? What else did they announce?
When is that? What's that? Skull and Bones. Whatever happened to that game?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
We didn't hear anything at this E3 about it. I remember they announced it 2 E3s or last year. And it was like, hey, this is going to be the good parts of Assassin's Creed's Black Flag. The parts that people liked.
Yeah.
And that game kind of disappeared.
Yeah, we had nothing from EA or E3.
2 disappeared. They didn't have any Nintendo stuff to really show except Just Dance on the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I still think back to this year's Ubisoft and how it was just one of the worst.
Yeah, it was soft. Maybe
it's because we're in that time where we're in between generations, so nobody really has anything to show.
Yeah, maybe they're really pumping it up for the next gen, because Ubisoft's a great developer. Say what you want, or publisher. Say what you want.
Oh yeah, no, they make some fantastic stuff.
Yeah,
I'm watching.
I guess the Division is a game that does well for them. I think it's pretty. I have the Division 2. It's pretty fun. That could be something worth it if you're a Division fan. Then maybe get the Ubisoft Pass, and you have the Division. Then you can get some other games.
I will say I know that the Division. While I don't think it's wildly popular, its fan base is very hardcore. They're very passionate about the game.
Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's fun. It's a lot like Anthem. You run into a place, you shoot enemies, you level up.
It's a shame that this year we had so much Tom Clancy, and yet we're never going to get a new Splinter Cell. The one Tom Clancy...
At least not for this generation.
We haven't had a Splinter Cell in how long?
Yeah.
PS3, maybe?
Oh, yeah, Rainbow Six Siege. That's another one. That's another Ubisoft title.
Siege, which did not have the greatest start to it, but they improved it and made it into a game that people actually now enjoy.
I can promise you it's going to reach Overwatch. If it hasn't already, it's going to reach Overwatch, Counter-Strike levels of it's always going to be around. If they continue, it's such a good shooter. If you like tactical shooters, it's the only one. There's no other tactical shooter like it. And if you like the Overwatch power system and how Apex has ultimates and stuff like that, this is one based sort of in warfare and reality. So it's the only one that has that. And if they continue to push it, it'll be like one of those classic shooters that everyone just immediately downloads when they install a new PC, like you do with Counter-Strike. At least that's how I am. A lot of people I know are like that.
I haven't loaded up CS:GO. I have it.
You have it though. Yeah.
The last time I tried loading it up, something was going on. It was telling me that I was cheating or something. I think reading a wrong file. I think I have to reinstall it.
All right, let's get into news. Man, we were talking for almost a half an hour. We did talk for a half an hour. All right. Take-Two expects shorter gaps between releases. CEO Strauss Zelnick talks about release planning working in third-party studios, next-gen unions, in E3. The reason I want to talk about this is for the unions. A lot of union talk going on right now.
And we have two different articles actually on union stuff in this to start this.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And So the CEO of Take-Two, who's a very, very wealthy man. I mean, you just think of some of the titles that Take-Two has published, and it's insanity. But where's the thing about where he talks about the unions? It's very, very interesting. Another topic we raised for Zelnick is that of unionization. The subject has drawn plenty of discussion in development circles following a number of controversies in the past year, including a series of reports on working conditions at Rockstar. Quote, look, unions tend to develop when labor relations are not typically non-existent, Zelnick says, and typically unions have been the most beneficial when there were more workers than there were jobs, and where their jobs were low-paying jobs. We have fewer workers than we have jobs, and they're high-paying jobs. Right now, Take-Two has 500 open positions. There are 220,000 or so people employed in the U.S. video game business. They make about $100,000 on average, maybe more. It's hard to imagine what would motivate that crew to unionize, but we're a compliant company and we'll serve the law. If our colleagues want to engage in collective bargaining, then we will. So it's essentially he thinks that most of these people are making $100,000.
Well, he's thinking that they make $100,000, which granted, they might make $100,000.
Some, sure,
working 80-hour weeks under hardcore crunch.
Yeah, some of them, sure, they maybe will make $100,000.
There's a lot of talk about unionizing just developers. Like, I don't know, but when they talk about just developers, I don't know if they're talking about just the people who like work on the actual making of the games. What about the marketing people? What about the testers? Quality assurance is like, people think, oh, that'd be a great job. You know, I get to play video games for a living. When you realize you're playing the same exact 5 minutes over and over and over again for 60 hours a week to test any bugs, it's not really a fun job. And it's actually extremely low paying for what you think it is.
Yeah, that's like a $35,000, $40,000 paying job. If you're a lead tester, if you're like a real tester.
If you even have a contract, a lot of it's like they'll bring you on for the project just to test something real quick.
Yep, and then they cut you.
Weeks, and then you're gone.
Yeah, it's not a good paying job. It's definitely not a good. It's not a fun. It's a low skill job. Honestly, it's not. It doesn't take a lot of skill. Anyone can really do it. So they're gonna pay you, and it's competitive. So they're gonna pay you what it's worth. And the only way you can bargain a better price for that is if you get into a union. I personally am not the biggest fan of unions. But considering the state of the industry, sometimes the union might be necessary. I don't know if it's necessary in gaming. I would debate upon that, but there's certainly disparity going on. There's certainly people who feel used in this industry.
The gaming industry is interesting because it's one of those industries that you look back all the way. Even when you look back at the ESRB, that is a that's a industry regulation. That wasn't. You know, the government was talking about it, but the industry stepped up and said, hey, we'll take it upon ourselves to do this.
Yeah.
That's within the industry. There's not really a lot from the government that steps in with unions and things like that to handle problems that arise in the game industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of the stuff they kind of were left to their own devices to self-regulate. That's the ESRB is not an extension of the United States government. That is a self-regulated part of the game industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was necessary as well.
And I don't think they need to rush headfirst into a union. I think they need to discuss. They need to, you know, what are they looking for in bargainings? Are they looking for better hours? Are they looking for less crunch? Are they looking for instead of required overtime, voluntary overtime? How much overtime is too much? What kind of salaries? What kind of positions? Are they looking for protections? It's a lot. There's a lot to the game.
And there's nothing stopping, because game developers are always going to pay for the best game developers. When they're making a good game, especially someone like Take-Two or EA or Ubisoft, who have tons of money, when they want the best game, they're going to hire the best people, and they're going to pay them respectively. It's really all of the underlings under them who are doing a lot of the menial developing, a lot of the menial tasks, who kind of get fucked in that situation.
And it's another thing.
And those jobs can easily be outsourced. They can easily be outsourced. So when you start to threaten union, you also have to remember there's another side to that coin. You don't just sort of ask for union just voila,
And
we
you
get
also
better
have to
pay.
You have to take into account where they are situated in the entertainment industry as a whole. You look at these like big sci-fi movies like Herman Out. You looked at Avengers Endgame, how much money that made, and then you kind of look back and go, "Wow, that made a lot of money in one opening weekend." Red Dead Redemption made that much money in its first night.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was the greatest selling piece of entertainment ever.
Yeah.
In the history of entertainment.
And it's nice that your devs are making, they make $100,000 a year on average. And then you look at just how much that game made, and then you look at these CEOs of Take-Two, and you see how much they're making.
Granted, the game is absolutely
If I was a dev looking for Unionize, then you'd be talking about maybe, because like you look at like Hollywood stars, they make the movie, and you have your film, you have your screenwriters, you have your cameramen, things like that. And then you have your editors, of course. Like if you're on a dev team, are you looking to maybe say, instead of like X amount of money, I want a percentage of what this game's going to sell?
Mm-hmm.
Because Red Dead 2 is going to make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
They would have wanted a percentage of that, because they would have been making a lot more than $100,000.
Well, that's a big discussion with like the socialists of the DSA and people like that. Collective employment, where essentially the workers of the company own a piece of the company. And that's a discussion to be had. I don't exactly know the specifics of it, but I heard of a discussion or a debate about it recently. I'm actually curious, Jerry, what do you think? Do you think developers should unionize?
It really depends. Also, hello.
What's up, man?
What's up, bud?
It's going. But yeah, I think you can go either way with that story, but it also depends on what type of developer. Like game developers, I think you could make that argument, but I think it would also depend on the size of the game developer. Like you're going to run into more issues, I think, if you're trying to just be like, game developers have a union across every studio. You know what I mean? I think if you were to do that, you'd probably want to start looking at doing that more like, okay, here's the Rockstar union. You know what I mean? Going by company wise. Where I think that goes into more like an HR thing of, I think some companies that could be a good thing, and then other companies, no, probably not. I don't know.
Well, Bernie Sanders is pushing for unionization in the video game industry. He had a tweet, says the video game industry made $43 billion in revenue last year. The workers responsible for that profit deserve to collectively bargain as part of a union. I'm glad to see unions like the IATSE and the broader game workers movement organizing such workers. So he's a big fan of unions, obviously, just historically. And he's on the side of the developers as well. And it is a debate to be had. Now, unions can be bad. I know in the construction industry, the unions really screw things up. I'm sure there's many times where you see, a job going on, and you're wondering why the job, they haven't finished any fucking thing in the last 2 years. The building is just like half built, sitting there forever. And it's because union. There's either some sort of union dispute going on where something's going on and they're just not working on it and no one's getting paid and it just sits there. And that can easily happen in the gaming industry, where games that are very, very big projects, lots of money going into them, lots of moving parts, all it takes is just a union dispute, and then the game is halted for who knows how long.
I have two questions about, not two questions. I have one funny story and one topic. But first, my favorite thing about unions, and maybe because I kind of work in the automotive industry a little bit. Now, I'm not in the automotive industry, but I'm in a field related to the automotive industry.
Mm-hmm.
I just really find it funny when unions put in these like little contract things where it's like, you have to buy American. The buy American vehicle,
right.
You're going to be in the union, Ford only, and something like that. Except that you forget that majority of Ford's parts are made in Mexico.
Right.
You buy a Toyota, that's made in about San Antonio, Texas. San Antonio, I believe, has a very large plant for Toyota parts.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Toyotas are built in America.
Oh yeah,
it's a company, but that's American built.
Yeah.
So that's just my little thing with unions, and it's a very outdated mindset from like the 50s and 60s when those cars were made in America.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as unions go, like how is that going to handle small bit? And it is small business, and you think about it. What about these smaller indie studios?
That's
Kickstarter.
the problem. That's the problem.
How do they get unionization?
That's the problem.
I think that is also my point though too, is because I think if a union is done correctly, it's a good thing. But to be able to do that, if you're going to go down this path, you have to do it small. It has to be small, studio based. It has to be based by the studio. If you're doing indies, it still has to be even like not necessarily smaller, but more personalized and specialized, I guess, is how I could see that working. Because unions really only work the best, in my opinion, when they're small enough that people actually care about it, and vice versa.
Like you look at like Super Meat Boy. That was a game made by two guys. You don't know how many hours they probably spent per week working on that game, not knowing it was going to be a success or not, but just the two guys. And it was a small business. They went into business for themselves. I guarantee you they were probably working at least 80 hours a week each on that game.
Right, but they get full profits. They get full profits from that game.
Full profits from it.
So if you're a company and you need to hire some sort of small development team just to fix a problem that you might have, and you want to hire, but they're in a union and there's a gamers union that you have to hire from, then you're either eating that cost up front and you can essentially are taking on a much bigger risk, or you just can't do it. You just don't have the money to hire them.
And
so
you just can't do it as an indie developer who's looking to get into the game scene.
Right. So then it really gates the amount of creativity there is, because sometimes the best creative minds are the people who have the least money and they want to get into the industry. So they're going to hire a dev, maybe outsource something, kind of cut those corners so they can get that project out there. And then their next one, they can make the money. But it's about that startup, and that's the debate, And
I do agree with that, but at the same time, my other argument would be there's really nothing stopping that person from just learning how to code and actually just writing it themselves.
Right.
That would be the counter argument,
Yeah.
I just want to say that Bernie Sanders says $43 billion, right? That's right, $43 billion made last year. And Take-Two CEO says there's about 220,000 people employed in the U.S. video game business. That's on average per person working in that business, $200,000 they should be making in revenue.
First, Doobie's a socialist.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Don't go down that path.
If devs are making $100,000, and quality assurance are making less than that. Marketing people are probably making less than that.
Oh, for sure. They're all making less than that. The only people who aren't making less than that are the CEOs and executives.
And them CEOs are making bank.
Yeah. They've
then
always
they buy studios. They got the studios.
I think a bigger question in just terms of finance is: does the amount of work a CEO does is it necessary for the amount of salary that they make? That's a debate I'm willing to have. But then again, some people who do become CEOs, they do deserve that money because they've invented something so amazing. But not a lot of the time. It's just some rich kid whose dad gave him the job. You know what I mean? So
that is a good debate.
It's a
good
one.
debate. I agree. But that's even more subjective. Of there's such a broad difference because there are some really good CEOs who will, totally argue they should be earning that much money.
Yeah.
But that goes on to a personal basis,
right.
So voice actors.
Yeah.
And I mean, most of these games are voiced, and those are
most
actors.
of them are under the Screen Actors Guild.
I was gonna say, are they under the Screen Actors Guild? Would they have to be part of two different unions then?
I would say the bigger ones are.
They're probably not Screen Actors Guild. They're probably Equity.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, if you're hiring like a big actor, they're probably Screen Actors Guild. But most of them are probably under a lower one.
North or in a guild, or some kind of union for voice actors.
I think there are some, because it really depends on how big you are and what your main source of income is. So if your main source of income's films, specifically movies, you're probably at SAG, but that's still mostly writers. But most actors, voice actors follow under
writers
Equity.
Have their own guild. They have
and Equity's a union.
Screenwriters.
And Equity is a big union for theater people, actors, voice actors, tech people.
Mm-hmm.
Theater and film.
There's a lot of crossover in the gaming industry with acting these days. Like now, it didn't used to be like that before the advent of everything being voiced and all that stuff. because you go back to like Mortal Kombat was made with just regular people who worked on the game, did all the mocap for it, really. And it was even before mocap. It was just like putting their bodies into the game in a weird. I don't remember how they did it. But there was a lot of contention then with the guy who played Johnny Cage. Like him and the rest of the creators of MK had a huge falling out. But just there's a lot of crossover these days in gaming from an acting perspective.
Well, it's a lot more. There's a lot, like, at least at the blockbusters, there's a lot bigger story-based games now.
Keanu Reeves is in Cyberpunk.
And I mean, I personally think if you have the money, it's really worth it to get a good actor to voice the game and to voice the main character because it just makes such a difference. If you get a shitty lead character, it's just like, who cares about the story?
It also depends. There was a story that came out. You remember the game, The Order 18, whatever it was, 1886 or whatever the hell.
Yeah, the movie.
Yeah,
the game that was basically a movie.
Essentially, it was a movie. Originally, I believe Troy Baker was in line to voice the main character, but Sony said, "You're in too many projects. Like you work too much. We're not going to hire you."
Oh, I'm sure that happens a lot.
Because Troy Baker, Nolan, like Troy Baker definitely is one of those like voice actors who you don't know who he is probably, but you know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's voiced a ton of character. You look at his credits. A game you like, he's probably done a voice in it.
I mean, just one example of like one example I could give is like God of War. Like, I mean, like the acting from Kratos was so good. It was like, it makes the game. So I think it's worth it to pay for the union in that sense. You know,
I agree.
Those rules.
Troy Baker was in God of War, by the way.
Oh, he was?
Yep.
Who did he play? What's the guy's name? The villain? I forget his name. What's the villain?
God of War was.
By the way, your nostrils look amazing, Jerry.
Good. I'm glad.
Are you in a park somewhere?
No, I'm having to do this on my iPad though. So.
Oh, okay.
He was Magni, one of the sons of Thor.
Yeah. Okay.
Him and Nolan North, which is funny because both of them are like two of the most well-known voice actors in gaming.
Dr. Mario World will release on iOS and Android devices July 10th. That's cool. I dig it. I want more Nintendo games on my phone. Thank you.
It's another mobile game that's going to have the hearts, and you have to wait 30 minutes before you can play again. And
is it?
Money, yeah. It's
Nintendo. What are you doing, Nintendo? Dude, but you need to be screaming at the top of your lungs. This is not how Nintendo should be operating.
It's a free game.
Fucking Nintendo making. They have.
And that's the funny thing is those other companies sat there and they're like, Nintendo fucking up. We can make so much more money than they can at mobile games if they gave us their IP.
Yeah.
And then this is a game it's just like a Candy Crush. This is their Candy Crush.
I guess it really does make that much money for them to really do that. And then all the Nintendo stands out there are quiet when this shit comes out.
They already did the gacha thing with the Dragalia Lost and Fire Emblem Heroes. Now they're getting into the Candy Crush business with Dr. Mario.
Fuck them. Nintendo says go ahead.
Only if it has the good music. Do
you play that in your car too, next to the Cuphead soundtrack?
Oh hell yeah! play the death metal version.
Nintendo says Animal Crossing New Horizons will not be compatible with cloud backups to avoid manipulating time.
I'll say, how excited is Jerry for Animal Crossing New Horizons?
I think his girlfriend's more excited than he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong there.
No
one. But I mean, I'm gonna play it. I still enjoy them, but I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna have fun. I don't care about. This is interesting because manipulating time in Animal Crossing is actually a really big metagame strategy, basically.
Right.
Because a lot of the things in that world are right. It's all based off of real time. So it's like you'll get a specific present only on July 4th, but you could reset your time to be whatever. So you can just make sure you get it instead of it being like an exclusive thing or something like that.
Right.
So
I wonder why the cloud saves messes with the time. Couldn't it just look at the online time and be like, okay, this is how much time passed?
Do you think Nintendo's online is good enough for that?
I guess not.
A fair point.
I guess they don't even know how to do time, and they don't even have a fucking working clock on their fucking machine. But I will tell you this, as someone who had their Nintendo Switch stolen, I fucking wish cloud saves were around so I didn't have to fucking lose my entire Zelda save when that happens. I mean, imagine Animal Crossing, your fucking game gets stolen and you have to start all over in Animal
After
Crossing.
you put 300 hours into it.
You would lose your fucking mind. So
They,
be
I mean,
careful.
the Animal Crossing fan base will
Be careful.
lose their mind if they lost their shit. I know that.
Just be careful. Hopefully it doesn't corrupt or anything. All right, next, Red Dead Redemption 2 inspired Breath of the Wild 2. And I'm so happy they admitted this, because I can almost guarantee you Red Dead Redemption was inspired by Breath of the Wild.
I will say this is not a new thing for them to like admit this. If you go back, if you can go back to the interviews they did for Splatoon 1, a lot of the team that worked on Splatoon 1, what they were playing that inspired them when they were making that game was Call of Duty.
Oh yeah. Do you remember when I was talking about Red Dead Redemption 2 in my review? I was basically saying it feels like a much more detailed Breath of the Wild. Like it feels like just a more detailed Breath of the Wild. And then the parallels are there. The parallels are right there. And I'm happy that they are taking inspiration from it, because it is an amazing game.
So Skyrim inspires Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild inspires Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 inspires Breath of the Wild
2. Breath of the Wild 2 inspires Cyberpunk 2099.
Which inspires Elder Scrolls 6. Let's go.
Yeah. 30 years in the future. When I asked what games the younger staff on the Zelda team were playing, specifically what inspired them, Anuma replied something. I did hear that a lot of people were playing was Red Dead Redemption 2. When I asked what open worlds inspired the Zelda team as a whole, he said, when I was working on Breath of the Wild, the director Hideo Fujibayashi was playing Skyrim. So there you go. Makes a lot of sense.
Pretty cool. I'm super
sense.
stoked for Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, me too. Me too, man. You're not the only one. And I'm super stoked on this next game. Star Wars Fallen Order is more like a Metroid, less like Uncharted, which I think is an excellent piece of news. I would much rather it be more like Metroid.
I think that's great because it's they were talking like you do things where you unlock more abilities, you go back to places you revisited, you open up new areas. That would have been cool if they had announced that and showed that off at E3 instead of showing that level that was kind of bland.
I thought
what they showed off was pretty cool.
Yeah, but imagine if they'd said like, "Oh, you're gonna have a hub. You can do quests from this hub. You're gonna unlock." Like planets, you're gonna go to those planets, so you're gonna be able to do new things in other planets you're revisiting.
Yeah,
but at the same time, then that sounds kind of like Anthem, or like Destiny.
Was Anthem like Metroid?
No,
well, but
kind of.
Somewhat, where it's like you have hub world and you unlock other worlds that you go visit, stuff like that.
You visit the same spot a lot.
That's
I mean, I guess it's hard for. No company really wants to go, hey, this is Metroid, since EA is not Nintendo, so using the term Metroid.
Yeah.
But there has to be an actual term that's not Metroidvania.
I don't know. I'm hyped for it, dude. I'm fucking hyped for Star Wars.
Apparently, according to Bloodstained Guy, it's now Igavania.
That also makes sense, though, and like I'm happy, but I'm not surprised because I would expect Star Wars to have action and not Uncharted, where you're like more of an exploratory non-combatant for the most part. Well, Star Wars, a better fight.
A linear, like that's saying it's a linear action game, and Star Wars have done that. I think Force Unleashed was kind of that style of just a straight up linear action game. I think having not an open world, because it's not really open world, but having definitely the Metroid style of revisits, unlocking new powers, which unlock things. I think that works really well with the Star Wars franchise.
Well, also just in the terms of like the gameplay, like I love Uncharted. I think it's one of the greatest game series ever made. But it is like a linear game where you go from point A to point B being the end of the story. There's really no exploration. It's they kind of handhold you through the exploration. Where Metroid is legit, you're exploring and you're looking around and finding different paths and upgrading stuff. So that fits really well with the type of game that I would like to play.
Tons
Because
of
if you add in
secrets,
like a
hidden
Sekiro,
areas.
Dark Souls like fighting combat style, then I'm pumped, dude.
And that's similar to the Dark Souls series. Is similar, somewhat
Yeah,
similar
yeah.
to a Metroid series in the terms of secret areas,
Very, very similar.
exploration. You mix the two of them together with powers that unlock.
You're constantly backtracking in Dark Souls and Sekiro and stuff. Yeah. Public will get to see Cyberpunk 2077's E3 2019 demo during PAX West 2019. So there was a secret demo again at E3 that people got to see, developers and not developers, but
There was a
gaming
lot.
journalists.
By the way, there was a lot of those demos at E3 this year, from what I'm hearing. Final Fantasy VII had a playable demo that people got to play, which was essentially just the boss fight.
Mhm.
But then there was a secret demo that like special people, media people got to go do. That was like the entire opening of the game, the entire bombing mission.
And then from what I was hearing, at least from IGN, they were saying they enjoyed what the public got to play in Cyberpunk than what they saw behind closed doors. Because they said the public, what they were playing was a lot more action-packed and a lot more freeing, where their demo was very intricate and it was 50 minutes long of just like, okay, this is how you create your character, and this is all the choices that you can make. So they
It was
were
more
like, I
in
like the
depth,
public
but
one.
less enjoyable.
Yeah. They said
It's
the public
it's
one just showed more of what you expect to be doing in the game.
Yeah, it's that mind-numbing. You know, the first hour you're gonna spend with any of these games, the character customization. I gotta see, what hairstyle do I like? What color do I want my hair to be?
Yeah.
Gotta do the eyes just right.
I'm pumped, dude. I'm
An
pumped.
hour of that.
But we'll
And I
get to
know
see
when
it.
it comes out, I'm gonna do another hour of it again.
Yeah. We'll get to see it though, so I'm excited to see what this. I want to see some good shit coming out of.
From what I'm
Cyberpunk.
hearing, Keanu Reeves' character is somewhat maybe like the Joker from Batman.
Yeah, he's kind of
a
like in your
chaos
head.
guy.
He's like this sort of like conscious AI thing in your head that kind of is your mentor. I mean, who doesn't want Keanu as their mentor?
Johnny Silverhand. What a name.
Yeah. All right. Apex Legends Season 2 weapons update. What do we got here? The L-Star. We saw this was like another light machine gun energy weapon, right?
Yeah, this is the gold drop, similar to the Crabber and the Mastiff. That's like you only get it in packages. It has its own ammo, so you're not getting you're not going to be finding ammo for it when it's out. It's out. But it does have some neat things.
I mean, it melts
got a-
people. It melts
Under the
motherfuckers.
trigger, it opens doors, which can be really interesting.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
We don't have a gun in this game that opens doors, so that does bring somewhat of a meta change how you approach buildings.
Hell yeah.
Do you want to waste that ammo and open the building? But then again, you can do that while also have another teammate priming a grenade.
Yeah.
Talking about grenades, arc stars are changed. They're now more reminiscent of the actual plasma grenades from Halo, where if you stick somebody with them, they're gonna get knocked down.
Mhm.
They're not gonna live. Which is just like Halo. When you throw a sticky grenade at somebody and they get hit, they're done. Let's see what else we got. We got hop-ups for the Alternator, RE45, which are disruptor rounds. Increase shield damage, which is a buff for those guns that aren't very good. Hammer point rounds, which increase unshielded damage for the P2020 and Mozambique, which are, again, not good guns. So
This
they
could
at
make
least
them a little
have-
more viable.
It adds them a little more viability to them. Yeah, I don't think you're going to see people still bringing them into the end game, but if you land next to a Mozambique and a hop up, you're going to think twice about getting rid of it.
Right.
What else do we have? We have
Energy mag attachments.
which I think is a fantastic change. It's currently the only gun in the game that doesn't have a magazine.
Some power-ups. They buff some stuff. Gold weapons. Ammo stack sizes.
Yeah,
Max
shotgun got
stacks.
reduced from 64 to 16
Good.
per stack, which is, you could literally, with a Peacekeeper, you only need one, max 2 stacks, which takes up very little inventory.
You really only carry one stack. And now you're
And
gonna have to
energy
carry
ammo,
4.
you burn through energy ammo so quickly, so buffing that from 60 to 80, good change.
Yeah.
I don't know if the L-Star is in the game right now, but they did add in those flyers. So what the flyers are, they're dragons. They look like dragons. They're flying creatures that you essentially shoot. They carry death boxes, which have loot, but their loot, like you go into the box, and I was looking at the Reddit, they have a player name at the top, but it's not a player that's in the game. I guess it just randomly picks a player name. So like a guy was saying that his buddy found a death box from a flyer that had his name on it, even though he wasn't playing the game at the time.
What? Why?
So it's interesting, and they're loaded with like really good loot.
Interesting.
So it's a new form of loot dispersion, which I think is a cool idea.
But why the
Oh, so someone who died, their loot box gets placed into a different game. Is that what you're saying?
That's what it seems like.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
But I'm not sure. It's such a weird, and they're not really talking about it. It's in the game now, but they haven't said anything about
Good.
it.
Don't talk about it. That'd be like Fortnite.
The Reddit was just exploded with like at least 500 posts of, oh, dude, the flyers are in the game now, of the same thing.
Right.
It's people talking about it, which hey, gets people talking. So
that could
I
be
still
pretty
think
cool.
this game is fun. I still enjoy the game. I know a lot of people soured on it. And when the ranked mode comes, I don't care that there's this almost 3-week period between seasons. This feels kind of like a big lull.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could have been a lot shorter.
The ranked mode really
Hurts a
helped
lot.
out. That's for sure.
The Apex Elite did. There was some issues here and there with that. Of course, people want their streak, so it was a lot less aggressive. It was very much campy at the ends, especially at the ends. It was just find your place to hide, and you hide there.
Yeah.
But with the full ranked mode, I think it'll be different because people are going to want to compete for the higher spots, not just for streaks, but for placement.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be rough, just because it's going to be their first real attempt at a ranked mode besides the Elite Queue. This is where placements are. This is 6 tiers.
It's gonna help. It's gonna bring some more competitive aspects to the game.
Oh yeah, and I think it'll bring people back to the game.
Yeah, I'll probably start playing it again just to see how far I can rank.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I haven't played Overwatch in forever. I loaded it up like a couple weeks ago and did placement for just for the hell of it.
Yeah, I
Just to
actually
see
loaded
where
up
I'm
Overwatch not too long ago as well.
I
was
wound
craving
up
it.
being placed in silver.
Such a good fucking first-person shooter, isn't it?
I haven't played in a long time, so there's a lot of new characters I hadn't played as.
It's just a good game. I don't care what anyone says.
it's a lot of
Overwatch
fun.
is so good.
It's just like any other online game. Your teammates can be horribly virtuously toxic.
Yeah.
Well, related to that, there's a rumor that they're making a second one that's mostly first-person based.
I heard about Overwatch 2. I also heard that they pulled the idea they were going to work on a StarCraft first-person game, and that got shot down to work on Overwatch 2. So,
yep, they canceled StarCraft Ghost for like the 5th time. No one's surprised.
StarCraft is dead. It's dead. I mean, you got StarCraft 2, which is still fantastic, but there's never going to be another entry in the StarCraft series.
Well, no. They've tried to make a first-person StarCraft shooter, I
Since
think,
the
at least
N64.
4 times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
since
since the
N64.
N64.
Yeah, I always got
I
excited
remember
about it.
StarCraft on the N64.
We always wanted to play as a Marine and shoot the fucking Zergs, and we never got
That
to
would
do
have
it.
been dope, and now we can't because Overwatch 2 has to happen.
Did you remember when they like showed video of it and we were all just so fucking pumped to play as a Marine? Getting
hell
a
yeah.
stim pack and just going in on those fucking Zerg?
But I do think it's not going to be called 2, and I don't expect it to be a successor, because what it really sounds like is they're trying to make a first-person story-based game, not a multiplayer.
So what they're trying to do is like take a lot of the lore.
They're trying to make They're trying to make Overwatch Ghost instead of StarCraft Ghost now.
So they're going to take a lot of the lore they've built up with the Overwatch world and make a single-player driven story game.
Yeah.
That's
That's what the big rumor is,
and
that
you'll
it's
probably
not like
use the different heroes in their own chapters or something.
right. That's what
makes
it's sounding
sense
like.
if
It's
you-
more first person kind
Because
of adventure.
Apex is trying to capture that kind of lore idea now that Overwatch has, where when they did the trailer for Watson, they were like, "Oh, Watson and her father, they're the creators of the Ring."
And then I go like this.
I mean, hey, some people eat that shit up though.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't beat Blizzard for that. You really can't.
It's a fucking
what did,
competitive
what was
shooter.
the last one. I don't. What's the character name from Overwatch? I think he's a healer. He's like the newest one. Is it like?
Oh, I forgot. I don't remember his name.
God, what's his name?
It's not Bastion, but it's
Baptiste?
something with a B.
Baptiste?
Baptiste, yeah.
And they just introduced his whole story thing in a big like video.
Yeah.
So that's like Overwatch's thing. It's like they really like to build up these lore videos.
No, that's a Blizzard thing.
Blizzard.
Like you don't have Blizzard without
Did they
like
do that with
massive
HOTS?
lore.
Did they do that with Heroes?
Not really, because everyone in Heroes is a character from a different Blizzard game.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So they already have a backstory of lore and
I
stuff.
played HOTS for 2 hours when it came out. Never played it since.
Damn, I want to play StarCraft Ghost so bad.
I'm just not a MOBA guy.
All right. Head of Platinum Games finds it, quote, hard to get excited about next-gen hardware. It's okay, and by that I mean I'm sure that things will move faster, graphics will be better, and maybe it will be easier with less wait times. That's good for the consumer, but it's more of the same, quite frankly, compared to previous generations. It's nothing that disruptive or super innovative, if you ask me. Game hardware used to be about custom chips that you couldn't do on PCs. Now you look at it, and they're just grabbing stuff that already exists. The Switch, for example, is a Tegra, which already existed, and the other consoles are using very, very similar chips and graphics cards. What you see on PCs, but maybe slightly updated. None of it seems unique to hardware. None of it seems unique to that hardware anymore. It's hard to get excited about about stuff that kind of already exists, but has been repurposed to a certain degree.
He's not wrong.
I mean,
No,
I'm excited about it because I like PC hardware. It's better.
No,
I mean, of course.
Consumer wise, this is way better. But I do get where he's coming from, like as a dev of like, no, that's a more interesting challenge to like try to go work at. But for consumer side, no, this is way better.
Oh yeah,
This is way better.
Consumers is way better. But like there was a time where like when you looked at the how game systems were designed and how like their chipsets were and why would you develop for an SNES instead of a Genesis? Why you would develop for the N64 instead of the PlayStation? Why you developed for X instead of X, and then everything kind of stopped doing that as everything kind of just became a lot of the same. And I guess as a company, it's not. I don't really think it's that bad. It's too for the companies because it makes porting their games a lot easier. Because now it can be played on pretty much anything. You don't have to make a ton of changes for.
They can just be made a lot easier.
Yeah,
you
can make it for the PS4, Xbox, and PC, and you have a wider audience to sell that game to. But that's just as you know, selling the game as
I feel like he needs to just look more into PC hardware. I mean, with the whole ray tracing is awesome. Like you could do a lot of cool stuff like graphically with ray tracing. We have a lot more power now. There's a lot more cloud stuff going on that you can just innovate with the cloud, and you know, there's a lot of new stuff going on. He's just kind of thinking it more along the lines of like.
To be fair, if you read the bottom, he did praise Google for Stadia.
Yeah. There is cool stuff there, but like it's also it's a different mindset because it is you can do any of that on any platform now, which I think is his problem. Where it's like, I mean, for software development, the main thing it's problem solving. Like that's the entire world, and now you're just making the problems easier. Yeah, that's not as much fun, you know.
Sure.
But for end consumer, no, there's a lot of cool stuff coming, and I like at the same time I'm not completely sold that ray tracing is really going to be a thing on consoles yet, to be honest.
No, I don't think it is either. I'm pretty sure it's not because AMD basically said they're not looking into it for a couple years.
And guess what? Neither is Nvidia.
Yeah, I mean that's just all AMD right now in the console space. So we're not going to see that for much longer. PS5 is rumored to be more powerful than Project Scarlet, according to one Game Informer editor. Rumors before the show said that PS5 is more powerful than Project Scarlet, says Andrew Rayner. And he said, where'd you get the rumors from? And he said developers. So developers are saying that the PS5 will be more powerful than Project Scarlet, which would be the first time a Sony product is more powerful than a Microsoft product at launch.
Was the PS3 more powerful than the 360?
Yeah, 3 is better than the 60.
It was just a shit system to really develop on.
Yeah. it was impossible to code for at first, but technically it was more powerful because it was the first one to have like an 8-core processor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm just saying it, man. Like, this feels a lot like it did when the PS3 versus the 360 happened.
And
There's
we
a
know
lot
how
of
that,
parallels.
we
There's
know
a
how
lot
that
of
went.
parallels. You just hope the history doesn't repeat itself. Unless you're Microsoft, then you are hoping.
Then you are hoping, yeah.
You're
No,
just
I don't think it
praying
will
for a
because
bomb.
Sony has exclusive titles.
Yeah,
they
they
have
have the
really-
software that they have this time. that
That's
I
what
don't
it comes down
think
to.
they had.
Xbox had the best sort of online experience, and they had great games, and that's what made them win. And then they kind of fell back, and they wanted to be this whole multimedia company, and now they're looking back at the games, but it might be a little too late. We'll see. But there's a lot of Sony exclusives I'm excited about.
Still holding firm. $500, the minimum the PS5 is going for at launch.
Yeah, I could see that. $4.99.
I'm also I think it might be worth noting I'm not expecting it to be that much more powerful, to be honest. I'm expecting them still to basically be pretty much the same hardware. It's just like, ooh, we overclocked the processor up 100 megahertz or something like that. You know what I mean?
They got another 0.1 teraflops out of it.
Yeah.
I am curious to see how much more powerful it is.
Their SSD runs just one fraction faster.
Because it can run 4K 30. That's hard to do. I should say 4K around 30. Doesn't always hit 30, but 4K
Yes,
anything
bro.
is hard to do in a game.
It's like the Witcher 3 on Switch, you know? It's around there.
Yo, 540p, let's go. Oh man, it's like watching like really bad YouTube videos on your phone.
I'm
Let's
okay
go.
with it, dude. I will look at Geralt in
It's
fucking
like-
240p.
If it's 540p but runs at like 30 frames or 60, I don't know, I guess 30 frames.
It's got to be 4K 60 or no one's going to fucking buy it. Because you can get 4K under 60 right now with the Pro. It has to do 4K 60.
I'm talking Witcher 3 on Switch.
Yes, I'm telling you, it has to be 4K 60.
You never-
Handheld.
Handheld
Imagine.
Actually, I don't even
Imagine
know
if they did that.
what kind of
It's gotta be
chip-
4K 60 and have NVIDIA Hairworks because we need Geralt's hair.
Yeah.
No, but really, what kind of chip on a Switch would you need to run 4K 60?
You would need a
About
fucking
10 years.
you need a fucking a modern
And how long
PC.
is that battery gonna last you?
Oh yeah, no.
You get 5 minutes of gameplay.
All right. That's it for the gaming portion. Got some tech stuff. We don't have to talk about it. I bought the Elgato green screen because it was on sale, and I picked one up. And if you need a green screen, this thing's
You going
fucking
through that-
cool, dude. This
Are you
thing's
going through
fucking
that
rad.
B&H sale too?
Yeah, I bought it on sale. It was fucking rad, dude. It's cool because the way I had my old green screen, I built it myself. I took a big old fucking sheet of fabric that was green, and I draped it over this PVC piping that I assembled into this big old apparatus. And that
So
was
what
my
you're
green
saying
screen.
is you're going to live stream on Twitch, you playing games with the green screen and a face rig where you look like a T-Rex.
Yes. And when I say yes, I mean no. But I have one. I had to get it. I've been wanting one for a while. It's just nice to have something that you can stow away. And then I also
Yeah,
have
that's fair.
the new Tamron 24 to 70 G2. Let me get it.
I just saw reviews for that. It looks good.
This is the
Oh, you actually already have it?
yeah. Yep.
There you go.
I bought it at
Yeah, no, I was
Cardinal
just seeing that.
Camera. Nice Japanese lens. It's really nice. The problem that I'm having with it, it's not really a problem. It's just it's heavy. It's a heavy lens. But when you put it on the EOS R, you have to adapt it because it's not an RF lens. So it just makes it a
Don't worry,
little
none of
front
them are.
heavy. Yeah, it makes it like front heavy, so it kind of sits like this, and it kind of just doesn't. It just feels a little off balance. But I mean, optically, it's a gorgeous lens, and it's the only lens right now in Canon's lineup that you can get that's a 2.8 and optically stabilized. There are other ones. They're 28 to 72 f2 is $3,000. I'm not spending $3,000 on that lens because it's not stabilized, and their 24 to 70 EF lenses aren't stabilized either. So it's pretty much that one or the Sigma. I went with Tamron. It was a little cheaper, and it looks just as good. And I've never actually had a Tamron lens before, and I think
They're not bad.
they're pretty damn good. They're pretty
Yeah.
damn good, and I like the way they look too. They have like that utilitarian look to them. So I have that. And that's pretty much it. And then I also recommend you watch The Nick. And I've been telling everyone this recently. It's a show about the 1900s, the Knickerbocker Hospital in the 1900s, and the challenges of race that they go through. There's like this black surgeon who comes into the picture, and he has to deal with all these race problems, how they treated black people medically back in the day. Also, just like all the weird innovations that they made in science and in medical science is so good. And the lead surgeon has a cocaine problem. All he does is shoot up cocaine the entire season. So if you like drugs, it's an awesome show. Highly, highly recommend it. And then, yeah, that's pretty much that in terms of new stuff.
Related to
Go ahead.
Related to photo video, go to B&H right now, basically.
Yeah.
Because right now they're just having like a huge flash sale of like, I don't know, something crazy amount of products. And they just kept sending me notifications on my phone, and there's some really good deals going on right now.
Mega Deal Zone. Save with hundreds of amazing deals. Yeah. And they have a lot other stuff, not just camera stuff. You can always get anything there, really.
No, any of that Elgato stuff, anything like that, computers. I think they got a blowout on like 2017 Macs and crap like that going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, if you're thinking photo gear, check out B&H for the moment, because sometimes they're really good and sometimes they're average. And right now they're really good.
Dude, they're selling this L-shaped desk for $80. It's a stainless steel frame desk for $80. Ooh, I kind of need an L-shaped desk. Okay. Google has been accused of stealing lyrics from Genius. Genius.com. Rap Genius. Music website Genius says it has proof Google is copying its lyrics and displaying them in search results and driving down traffic to Genius.com. The evidence is all in the punctuation. Genius has been secretly watermarking lyrics on its website with patterns of apostrophes, which can alternate between the straight and curly single quote marks. The watermarked lyrics surfaced on Google's information panels, which often appear as a first result when you look up a song. Genius went so far as to make the punctuation mark spell the word red-handed when translated into Morse code. Ooh, they got burned.
Yep.
Google knowingly displays lyrics that are copied from Genius in search results in order to keep users from leaving Google to go to other sites. They have known about this for 2 years, and it's clearly unfair and anti-competitive, Genius told PC Mag in a statement. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that is the only statement I've seen from Google about it is Google themselves don't do it. They contracted some other company to do that for their search features. But who knows, to be honest.
Yeah, this is their statement.
Google's trying to shift the blame, but if they've known about it for 2 years, you would assume or think that they would have tried to correct that issue 2 years ago.
Yeah. This is their statement. The lyrics displayed in the information boxes and in knowledge panels on Google Search are licensed from a variety of sources and are not scraped from sites on the web. We take data quality and creator rights very seriously and hold our licensing partners accountable to the terms of our agreement. We're investigating this issue with our data partners, and if we find that partners are not upholding good practices, we will end our agreements. Interesting stuff. I thought it was interesting that they caught him literally red-handed. I thought that was really a really cool way to get you. Because if they didn't do it this way, then they wouldn't bring any attention to it, and no one would really care. But the fact that they played Google, not only does it get news websites to talk about it, but it gets a lot more interest in the story. And I mean that's their business model is lyrics, and I think that's
and clicks.
Yeah, and I think that's so interesting that the lyric game is cutthroat, dude. It's cutthroat out there for lyrics.
I only go to lyrics 123 ABZ or whatever. Remember all of those
the purple website?
Yeah, the purple website, all those crappy 2010 era lyrics websites everyone used to use.
Yeah. Elon Musk.
Yeah, no, I thought it was cool.
Elon Musk doesn't learn. Posts uncredited artwork, deletes tweet. So Elon Musk posted a painting of 2B from Nier Automata, and he just wrote 2B on his Twitter. And then To-Do Nintendo S, of course it's a Nintendo fan, comes in and says, "Credit the artist, Elon." And then Elon Musk responds, "No." He just writes no. And then he ends up going on some like crazy tirade. Says, I wish people would stop crediting artists on Twitter when any fool can find out who the artist was in seconds. It's destroying the medium. Then he just deletes his tweet. He says he's going to quit Twitter. He never quits Twitter, and just cries like a little bitch. Elon, you cannot do this stuff. He's too cool to do anything like this. First of all, what are you doing posting paintings of 2B from Nier Automata anyway? Don't you have other shit to do?
It explains his
Let's be honest, he's
views
probably
of
fapping.
Journalism.
Yeah.
Elon
'Cause all
Musk
of
is probably fapping it to hentai of 2B. Let's
Oh
be
yeah. Oh, definitely. But I do think it's funny because like his entire views on journalism are that they're all terrible. But then when he's like, someone tells him cite his source, he's like, no.
Yeah. Insane.
Cool.
He has to get off Twitter, dude. He cannot be doing this shit, man. He's not good at it. It makes him look so stupid. If he was like the quiet sort of Tesla CEO who just did amazing stuff, people wouldn't see him in such a weird light. But no, he's got to be this weird South African dude who just posts random paintings of 2B from Nier Automata.
He needs to be what Mark Zuckerberg wants to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. All right. Speaking of which, Libra. Libra is Facebook's cryptocurrency. They're coming out with their own cryptocurrency. It's a stable coin called Libra. I haven't read the white paper. I haven't even looked into what the actual programming is of what Libra coin is doing. But essentially, some people are excited about it. Some people really hate it.
It's spying on you.
Huh?
It's spying on you.
It's spying on you, yeah. I personally, from what I've seen so far, this is just limited research. I think that this is a really, really great thing for cryptocurrency because this is exactly right now. There's Tether, USD Tether, and there's so much corruption going on with Tether, Bitfinex, which is mainly what Mt. Gox used to be. And there's a lot of corruption going on with Tether. You need Tether to be around. You need a stable coin because that's what is essentially the backing of your cryptocurrency. This is what people are going to be using to spend their cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is like gold. It's a store of value. A lot of the other coins are utility coins, and I wouldn't even recommend using them as finance at all. So when you have something like Libra come up, which is a stable coin, but it's backed by a large conglomerate like Facebook, then you can essentially use it to spend it and use it in everyday world. And hopefully it's quick and it's efficient and it has no fees, which would be the very draw of using it. So say you're in a government where your dollar's down, there's a lot of surveillance going on, there's a lot of market manipulation going on in your own government, and you need to use Bitcoin or you need to use some other coin for your to basically hold all of your money, all of your value. Well, there's no real good way to use it. There's no real good way to spend it. So what Libra is essentially doing is giving people who use Facebook, giving people who use WeChat, I think it's called WeChat. Facebook, WeChat? Is it WeChat or is it a different chat platform? Facebook, WeChat, and Messenger. And now they can essentially use it. They can spend it. They can use it. Implementing it into Facebook, which has a shop, implementing it to Instagram, which has a shop, implementing it into all of their just gigantic billion users. It's very, very enticing now that we have a cryptocurrency that can bridge that gap. So when you think of like cryptocurrency as it is today, it's a very Wild West market that's starting to finally come together. It's starting to finally come into its own. The new Lightning protocol in Bitcoin has been excellent. It's the reason why a lot of the Bitcoin price has been going up, along with a lot of the corruption that's going on with Tether. Not to mention the advancements Ethereum is making. So we're starting to finally see some real world implementation. We're seeing a lot of really big corporations starting to take into cryptocurrency and understand that this is what internet money is essentially going to be. It's gotta all work together. And I think Libra could be something good. Now, I don't know exactly how they plan on implementing this into their services. And there is that whole, worry about, is Facebook, very nice, Sherry, is Facebook essentially...
Give me your crypto coins, all of you.
You look like high on crypto. is Facebook a good company to be basically owning some sort of finance? And that's a debate I mean, I would love to have as well, because who knows? I don't think Facebook is the bad guy that everyone else kind of makes him out to be. I think they kind of do some things wrong, but I think they do a lot of things right. Nonetheless, they have over 1 billion users. And if anyone can really bridge the gap between finance, payments, and payment structure, it could be Facebook. So we're going to really see how this rolls out. They're rolling it out with the Calibra wallet. So the way you're going to do is you get this Calibra app, you input your money into here. Whatever you spend, that's what turns into Libra. So $1 is going to equal 1 Libra. It's not like Bitcoin where you spend $1, you get 0.00001 Bitcoin. It's a stable coin. It's always locked to the dollar. It's always locked into whatever's backing it. And essentially, yeah, that's how it's going to work. And we're going to see if it takes off or not. I do want to look into more about what the core of the math is. From what I'm hearing, it is open source. You can track all the payments and all that stuff, just like you can with any other cryptocurrency. But it's not a decentralized cryptocurrency. It's not like a Bitcoin. It's not like an Ethereum where everything is decentralized. Facebook still is the owner of these coins. It is the holder of these accounts in terms of distribution, in terms of how it's disseminated, right? So do they have an entire stash of Libra? You know what I mean? I don't know what that answer is. I don't think so, though. I think that this is a legit cryptocurrency, and they really want to make money on the fact that a lot of people who use Facebook don't have bank accounts. A lot of people who use Facebook don't have access to this sort of finance, and they see a really easy opportunity to make money by just implementing an easy blockchain solution.
But that is also why everyone's also paranoid about it, because
yes,
now you're like, oh, okay, so the eventual form of currency for the world is Facebook.
Right. Facebook coin. Now, I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. I don't have a problem with that. As long as Bitcoin is still around, it's still the main store of value, I don't have a problem. I think Libra has a really strong place in the market. Are other people going to adopt Libra? That will be seen. That will be, we'll see if people start to use Libra outside of Facebook. But it's going to be super interesting.
I'm just mad that they're calling it Libra coin. I'm like mad that they're stealing from a commonly used open source word, and it's Facebook doing that. And then it's like, no, just call it Zucker coin. Call it the Borg. Like, call it something else.
What is a Libra? I remember Libra being a PDF app.
Yeah, like LibreOffice, like all of those.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, like that. It's a very common thing used in open source, but like going way, way back, it was a unit of measurement in Rome. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's just that's a minor gripe. It's nothing actually that big, but it's just kind of interesting to me and funny.
Now I have a question. Will you say Libra coin's released? And then you can now buy stuff off Instagram or Facebook or whatever else, whatever other marketplaces they open, or any other. Maybe Starbucks takes Libra. Maybe another retail chain takes Libra. Would you put some money in your Libra wallet?
I guess it would depend on the store, because so far you haven't said anything to actually go and use.
Say it's, I don't know, any store,
but
every store.
Theoretically, possibly, yeah, but I would never put a ton of money in it or anything.
Right.
It's more, I would see that as more, it's like Amazon Pay or something like that.
Like an Apple Card or something.
Right.
See, that's why I think Libra is going to be really popular. Because you essentially, if you needed to, say the US dollar is in peril and global finance is in array, Bitcoin will always be there. You can essentially store all of your value in Bitcoin and then use your Libra wallet to make your checking accounts and stuff like that. And I think that could be really interesting. Now, I don't think it's going to get that drastic, obviously, but I think Libra is going to be a lot more popular than what the main cryptocurrency community is saying. They're going to say it's a failure from the start. I don't think so. I think this is going to be really big. It's essentially Apple Card or Apple Wallet for Facebook, except it's backed by a cryptocurrency, which is cool.
Yes, but wouldn't that tank in that scenario? If it's a stable coin backed by U.S. currency, if the U.S. currency fails, wouldn't the crypto coin fail then too? Essentially, yeah. It would be whatever the value of the dollar is.
So if the dollar is not worth much, then you would have to spend more Libra to get the same, like a cup of coffee instead of being 8 Libra, it would cost 12 Libra or something. But essentially that would be how it would work. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's also the better bet for them, because I'd be more willing to trust Facebook coin if it's tied to,
right,
if it's got the gold standard behind it, so to say, right. Okay, it's tied to US currency. It's not their own imaginary thing of
right,
whatever it could be.
Yeah, they had to do it that way. They couldn't, you're right, they couldn't do it. And I'm sure they were looking at it like that, where they would try to, do it like an EOS situation. But they were probably like, let's just make it so people just use it. Let's get people to use it. Give people, all these people who don't have legitimate bank accounts, and let them start spending money on Facebook. Now, who's going to buy stuff on Facebook? I don't know. I don't buy anything on Facebook or Instagram. And I don't know if I ever will. Just, I don't see stuff on there that interests me. But this could be interesting in terms of where it goes and the adoption of it. All right. Finally, Twitch is suing the trolls. Twitch is suing. So there seems as if a bunch of trolls on Twitch started streaming to the Valve's Artifact game channel tons of like gore and hardcore pornography. They were streaming the Christchurch shooting, just going nuts, dude. Just like, and it seemed like it was a coordinated attack because it was hard for them to stop it. It was multiple accounts. So Twitch was like, you know what? We pride ourselves in moderation, so we're gonna have to sue these motherfuckers so this stuff doesn't happen again. And they essentially sent out a lawsuit against the accounts that were streaming and named them Jane and John Doe 1 through 100 in the lawsuit. John and Jane's Does 1 through 100. So I don't know if they're gonna be able to figure out exactly. It says here the first defendant, Joan Doe 1, is described as a person or entity responsible in whole or in part of the wrongful conduct alleged herein, who has operated on an account on Twitch's services under a pseudonym. I don't know if they're going to be able to find these people, but they are launching some sort of lawsuit. I guess they know who these people are. Can you sue someone if you don't know who they are? I don't know. Is that something that you can do?
If they're not a public company entity, I don't know, but I also feel like they could probably figure that out because we have way too much information about ourselves online.
Yeah, I wonder if they let me see.
Twitch has the money to figure it out is basically what I'm saying.
Oh no, it says here, because Twitch doesn't currently know who's actually responsible for the violating streams, the lawsuit identifies them as John and Jane Doe. So they don't know who they are, but we'll see if they can find out. Well, we will see. But yeah, they were streaming some crazy shit, porn, mass murders, for no reason. It seems like for no reason whatsoever. Maybe just for the fuck of it.
Who knows? Because also Artifact bombed harder than a rock. No one plays that game.
Dude, I play every night, man.
Do you really?
Speak for yourself. No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Like, it was
some card game.
Valve card game that was launched to compete against Hearthstone. I think last I checked, it had like 5 active players at one time.
Yeah, Casual says, I was surprised at how many viewers were in those channels. Probably underage kids. There's probably underage kids like, whoa, dude, look at all this crazy videos. I don't know why you'd come to Twitch to watch porn now. I mean, you'd be surprised, I guess. There's a lot of those thoughts, Twitch thoughts.
Not naming names since we're on Twitch, but you never know.
Can I get banned for saying Twitch thought? I can, right? Isn't that something they said you couldn't say or something?
I was just kidding, but I do know if you start naming names, that's a no-no.
Yeah, we won't name names. How about what's his name, blank blank, getting banned for streaming in the bathroom? I thought that was interesting. I thought that was an interesting thing. Oh God, man, what are these people doing? Don't know. What are these people doing? All right, do you have any other news, Jerry? Anything else interesting?
No, I'm good for the most part.
All right, everyone. That's it for the episode. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Lots and lots of gaming news and tech news going on. Go load up your Libra wallets. I have some awesome things to sell you over on WeChat. Is it WeChat? Is that the name of their chat app? It's Facebook
Facebook's?
Messenger,
No,
WeChat.
no, WeChat's
It's a
China.
Chinese one, right?
Right, but that's not Facebook.
WhatsApp. That's what it's called.
WhatsApp is what they do. Yeah.
WhatsApp. Okay, it's not WeChat. It's WhatsApp. Yeah,
Right.
WhatsApp.
WeChat is from Weibo, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
which is Chinese Facebook.
Yeah, I remember back when I was at Rider University, there was someone I knew who was Chinese, and they had a Weibo account, and I remember being like, "What is this Chinese?" It was Chinese MySpace, is what it is. It's like a whole MySpace account, and she was like, "Yeah, there's 1 billion people on it." I was like, "Oh, interesting things." All right, everyone.
No, all of those are crazy too, because like
It's just like
Japan.
billions of people, dude.
well, yeah, Japan. Everyone in Japan uses Line, if you remember Line, for like as a texting chat app.
Yeah.
They all use Line. Everyone in India uses WhatsApp, and a lot more here. Like that. Like it's really interesting finding how the world takes messaging very drastically differently.
When I was in South Africa, everyone was like, "What's your WhatsApp?" It wasn't "What's your number" or your email.
No,
it was
yeah.
"What's your WhatsApp?" WhatsApp is gigantic, and I mean, you give all of those users a way to spend money, and even if 1% of them do, that's a lot of money that could be generated there. So I think it's a smart move for good old smoking meat boy. Maybe he can buy some more meats. Maybe he can buy a new smoker for himself. Are you smoking meats, Jerry? He's smoking some meats, dude. Hold on, show your meat smoker one more time. The crowd didn't see it. There it is. Smoking some meats. Very nice. Oh, I forgot to ask you. Are you moving to Gay Hell, Michigan?
No, but what's going on with that?
So the
Wait, what?
YouTuber, I forget his name, Elijah Daniel, maybe?
I'm very close to Hell at the moment. What's going on with Hell, and why is it gay?
Elijah Daniel, who's a gay YouTuber, purchased the entire town of Gay Hell.
Hell, Michigan. Named
And-
Gay Hell.
Yeah, he named it Gay Hell.
Wait, like what part? Like the city, the township, or
I guess
like,
the whole thing. I don't know. I think it's. I don't know if he actually purchased it, but
I
all
mean,
the
it
news-
wouldn't be hard. There's like
all the
there's
news is
literally-
reporting it as now it's called Gay Hell, so it now is forever.
that's kind of amazing, actually. Yeah, no, that's like 20 minutes from where
Oh,
I'm at.
and you
at the
can't
moment.
fly the American flag there. You can only fly the Pride flag there.
That's interesting. I'll have to go find out because
Yeah.
basically there's a paintball field, a like gas station, an ice cream shop, and like 2 saloons, and one's never open.
Yeah. No, it's pretty funny though. It's pretty funny. It's a good troll. I love it. I love a good
That-
troll.
Yeah, wait, I'm saying I'm gonna see if I can find out any more information about this really quickly.
Yeah, if you can. Just type in Gay Hell. It's all over the news. Gay Hell, Michigan. All right, everyone. I think that's it.
Owns the town of Hell.
Okay, so he owns it currently,
Yeah.
Renamed it Gay Hell.
and he renamed the town. So that's like 5 buildings. So now it's all Gay Hell. He ran for mayor a couple of years ago there, apparently.
I think he is the
Well, no.
mayor.
Okay, yeah, because he was running for mayor a couple of years, apparently. No, this is interesting to me because girlfriend's dad actually plays in a band, and they play at that Hell Saloon quite often.
Really?
So I got to find this out. Yeah.
Well, now they're going to have to call it the Gay Hell Saloon. Yeah. And supposedly there's a Climax, Michigan?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, CM Punk said there is a Climax, Michigan, and he wants to annex it and call it Gay Climax, Michigan. All right. All right, everyone. We'll catch you guys next week. Hope you enjoyed the show. Every week, Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Right here on Twitch, baby. Right here on Twitch. And I agree, Casual. We need to get more people over on Twitch. I'm doing the best I can. Okay, buddy? Okay. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.